Sclash is a gorgeous 2D hand-drawn game about warring samurai clans. The game was short, but a lot of fun. I managed to play for a little over 3 hours, experiencing a lot of the game. There is still more to come, according to the developers, but for now, I can let you know what is happening in Sclash.
As he'd done since a young age, Jinmu warmed up in the dojo.
The story starts by following a young man named Jinmu, practicing his fighting skills against wooden dummies and his best friend. After training and proving himself to his grandmother, Jinmu is allowed to partake in the upcoming war, under the condition he stayed near the back. But being young and quite skillful with the sword, Jinmu ends up facing off with the opposing general and finds out why the two clans are at war, forcing him to question everything he's been fighting for and what he could do about it.
Yet despite this victory, thoughts collided in Jinmu's head.
The game doesn't show much in terms of blood on attacks. I'm not sure many kids would even be interested in watching. It was fun to play, but it didn't seem like a lot of people were very interested in watching the gameplay. I'm pretty sure my kids would get bored while I played, so it almost feels like a null point.
Technology's helpful, and you know nothing of the pact that binds us.
Fighting wasn't complicated to understand. There were only a few different things to do while fighting. Swing a sword, block an attack, dodge left or right, and pommel attacks used to interrupt incoming attacks. The difficulty came from deciding what needed to be done to trick the enemies and attack when they least expect. Both fighters have 4 stamina stacks to manage while fighting, losing a stack when committing to an action, but gaining stacks if they block an attack. Jinmu is always one hit from defeat, while boss enemies have to be hit at least 3 times. After beating the short story for the first time, taking a little over an hour, various challenge modes were unlocked, adding a little more difficulty to the story. Things like trying to accomplish everything in a set time, or outrunning a giant wall of fire through the entire game. So even though the story was short, there were a few different ways to attempt it. On the main screen, it says there is an online option in the works. I'm guessing it would allow you to fight random people on the internet. But as of right now, the game only has a local multiplayer option, allowing you to play against someone else on your preferred platform if they are right next to you. You can choose from a few different backgrounds to fight in, and how many rounds to play. Then both players get to choose and customize a fighter. The different customizations were rewarded for completing specific tasks within the story mode. I ran into a couple issues while playing the game. I'm not sure if I would call them bugs or just problems that may need to be addressed. While playing the story mode, if I left at some point, I could continue where I left off, unless I was in the last chapter of the story. Leaving during that would force me to restart the entire story from the beginning. It took me 3 tries to finish the story because of that. Once, due to a crash. The other was because I left, thinking it would save. Then, there was the firewall run. At some point in the story, there was an enemy that would always spawn on the other side of the fire where I couldn't get to them, and the fire always hit me. Sclash was very unique in looks and playstyle. I don't regret trying it out. It was shorter than I would have hoped, but the cost of the game was very generous. I really think it could be sold for more considering the work put in. I'm curious about what shelf my ratings put it on. Visually, the game was fantastic. I was very impressed with all of the hand-drawn characters and scenery. I'm giving it a 5. I believe the story was pulled from Legends of Old. I'm not sure if it's the exact same story or based on one, but I felt like it deserved a 4. The gameplay was unique and tough to grasp at first, but after going through so many times and learning the techniques of the enemies, it became trivial. That and the odd hiccups in the programming, I want to give it a 3. If you want to unlock all the various masks and swords for customization, the replayability is quite high. It felt like half of the story is dialogue, but can be skipped getting you right into the action. I'm giving it a 4. I had a lot of fun to start out, but after my game crashed, forcing me to start over, I was a little annoyed. Then I quit to the menu in the last chapter, hoping to save in case I crashed again, and the damn game made me start over again. I powered through it, and I beat it, but I was very annoyed at the whole process, earning it a 2. My experience with the game gives it an average of 3.6, earning it a spot on the mid shelf. I would recommend this game. It could definitely kill a boring evening, and if you have a friend, you both could try your skills against each other. I'm very curious on how the online multiplayer pans out. That may turn into a lot of fun if there are enough people playing and interested. For now, I'm done with this, and it's time to move on to the next one. I will see you there. Bye!